Yeah, exactly. And if you need, exactly, you will handle this better than. Just let us know. Everything feels good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just let me know if you have. You can just wait to me. I will be running around with the photos.
Okay. Let's see. Here we go. All right, we've got 5 more minutes until the 2025 U.S. Shoe Shine Championship. So come downstairs, grab your seat, and let's get ready. Let's get ready. So hi everyone, I'm Kirby Allison, one of the co-organizers along with Jesper Ingolson and Justin Fitzpatrick. Jesper is upstairs, I guess. He's right here. Of course, easy to see. Tall Swede. But this is our 3rd annual New York Super Truck Show and 3rd annual U.S. Shoe Shine Championship, generously sponsored by Saphir, Medallior, and Bridlen Shoes, who is support without which the Super Trunk Show would not be possible. Of course, we've got several other gold and silver sponsors for the Trunk Show. I encourage all of you to take a moment and go visit those booths, because each of these participants in the Super Trunk Show really are incredible examples of craft. So it's a privilege to have them all here in one spot. But without further ado, we'll get started with our Shoe Shine Championship. So I'll introduce the contestants. They have 20 minutes to produce as good of a mirror shine as possible using only Saphir Medallior on a brand new pair of Bridlen dress shoes. So much more easily said than done. And so it's a sprint, not a marathon, that is for sure. So our contestants, we have Nicholas Fuentes of Los Angeles, California. Nicholas, if you want to come up. He's wearing a beautiful Kirby Allison soccer grade basket weave tie. So you know your audience. We've got Mario Samaniego, right? Did I say that correctly? From Pharr, Texas. So Mario actually came to the Shoe Shine Masterclass that we hosted in Dallas with me and Preston. So it's nice to see you again, and thank you for coming all the way up to New York. And finally, we have Chen of Huntington, New York. So Ray clearly has the home court advantage here. A large contingency in the crowd. So, as I said, we're starting with a brand new pair of shoes, which is probably the hardest starting point for a mirror shine. I don't envy, the pressure. And let's see, we've got Jesper. Can you run the clock for me? I guess you can tell me. Or Justin's got it. Okay. So let me know when you guys are ready. Now they are able to choose amongst any of the polishes offered by Saphir Medallior. I see, of course, they're using the Saphir Pat Deluxe, which is their traditional wax polish. And then, of course, the mirror gloss, which is the secret sauce, if you will, when it comes to producing that mirror shine. You would be really amiss to not use those two products in a competition like this, but they all have also selected different pigments. So as we judge this at the end, we'll be judging the overall best shine, and we will be judging, as part of that, the most beautiful shine. So, gentlemen, are you guys ready? All right, we've got a few more people coming downstairs. Please. All right, you ready? All right, 20 minutes, starting now. On your mark, get set, go. So here we have it, our three contestants, Nicholas Fuentes of Los Angeles. Right in the middle, we've got Mario Samaniego of Pharr, Texas here on the left, and Chen of Huntington, New York on the right. Now what's important to note is that each three of these contestants are really amateur enthusiasts, right? They're not professional shoe shiners, they don't do this all day. And you know, it's not like the London Super Trunk Show where we have the World Championship, where we really get some guys who are in fact true professionals. You know, what's unique to the U.S. market, I think, is, again, the idea that, you know, that we've got a large community of people that are shining their own shoes, and it's really unique to the U.S. market because we don't, unless you're living in New York or Chicago, have someone in the basement of their building that is able to shine your shoes for you. So shoe care in the United States is really done at home and by the individual wearing the shoes. And that's why, of course, Saphir polish is so great, because it is fantastic in terms of the quality of its ingredients, the specificity of the product itself, and again, you know, it makes everything easier. But again, I think of all of the different possible shines, the mirror shine is the most difficult. I often say the mirage of the mirror shine, I mean, you can sit there what it seems like for hours and never quite get there. It's always just a little bit off in the distance. I often say you have to put your shoes down and come back. But these three contestants today don't have that luxury. They've got 20 minutes. So let's talk a little bit about our sponsors, of course. Saphir Medal d'Or, widely considered, excuse me, as the Saphir Medal d'Or, widely considered the manufacturer of the best shoe polish in the world. I mean, any shoe aficionado is using Saphir Medal d'Or, not just here in the United States, but really all over the world. It is really widely and almost universally recognized as the best polish. Saphir Medal d'Or being the highest range, the highest quality of ingredients, best waxes, highest concentration of pigments, all natural. So whenever you're shining a pair of shoes, not only are you making them look better, but in many ways you're feeding and nourishing the leather to also extend the life, which is very important. Bridlen, of course, being our other platinum sponsor for the entire Super Trunk Show, is a manufacturer of Goodyear welted leather dress shoes out of India. And they've really come up to the scene the last several years as a breakaway provider of fantastically high quality Goodyear welted leather dress shoes at an absolutely incredible price point. So I often, say that the value that they represent is exceptional, but in no way should that understate or undermine or misrepresent the quality of these shoes, because really they're right up there with anything that you find out of Northampton. We've got 20 minutes, right? What do we have now? 15? 17. 17? Oh boy, we still have a lot of time. So, the mirror shine, again, is quite difficult. They're only shining one shoe too, right? Yep, so just one shoe, don't do both. And again, one shoe alone in 20 minutes is enough of a challenge. And the process here, really, when you think of a mirror shine, there's two things that are really, or three I suppose, but let's talk about the shoes. Two characteristics that are absolutely fundamental to being able to achieve a beautiful mirror shine. One is the quality of the leather. You need a full grain, open pore leather that is able to actually receive that shoe polish. Of course, Bridlen uses only the highest quality skins in their shoes, and so they meet that mark very easily. But any type of corrected grain leather, the type of leather you would find on a less expensive dress shoe, just is not going to receive that polish. You'll just really push it around the surface. So that is first and foremost. But the other thing that people don't often talk about, and I actually just filmed a video about this on my channel, is that it is essential that the shoe is made well with proper hard countering. And what I mean by that is that the toe cap and the heel, the areas of the shoe that you're seeking to produce that mirror shine on, has to have enough rigidity that whenever you're pressing down on the shoe, it's not flexing. Because the moment that you produce that mirror shine and the leather flexes, it's going to crack. And so again, with certain shoes of a lower quality grade than what you find at Bridlen, you can almost flex the toe cap like it's the band of the shoe. So those two things are really important. The next thing comes to the technique in polishing the shoes, and this is where Saphir Medal d'Or really breaks away. The mirror gloss, which I like to take credit for helping inspire all these years ago, really is a major difference in doing this more easily. Prior to the mirror gloss, a lot of the patina guys in Paris, what they would do is leave a tin of Patria Lux open and let it dry out. Because you want that hard concentration or that high concentration of hard waxes to build that foundation. And when you think about what you're doing, you want to produce a smooth surface that reflects or refracts light. And so you've got the core structure on the shoe that, of course, is not going to produce mirror shine. And so it's by covering that with successive layers of waxes that allows you to produce that smooth finish that just lights up. Now, there's a lot of different ways to do this. I mean, Preston Soto, who's here in the audience, raise your hand, Preston. Probably produces a much better mirror shine than I do. He really focuses on that on his channel. There's a lot of different ways you can approach this. And the finer the layers of wax, in many ways, the more brilliant the shine and the more depth it is. Now, the beauty of the mirror gloss is that it's a high concentration of hard waxes. It has a low solvent ratio, and so it allows you to build that foundation of hard waxes faster. Solvents, of course, are necessary to liquefy those waxes, so you have to have a solvent in a shoe polish with wax. But I often describe it's kind of like taking 3 steps forward and 2 steps backwards, because if you have too much solvent, every single time you go to apply that next layer, you're going to take away a little bit from the layer before. And this is where managing that solvent ratio is really important. You'll see that there's a combination of technique in terms of just using your fingers and using chamois. We've got some high shine chamois here from Saphir. I think we've got a Wellington high shine chamois maybe there in the middle. We've got maybe what is just a t-shirt over there on the far side, which is completely fine. It'll all work, and every person that has spent a considerable amount of time shining their shoes probably has a preference in terms of what it is they prefer. So let's see, here we go. And then finally is water. 13 minutes. 13 minutes left. And so then finally is water, which you're using a little bit of water and a little bit of solvent from the wax polish to glaze those waxes. So I call it like wet sanding. But you've got to be careful with water, because if you use too much water, you can produce a dark spot. Right, Preston? What do you think? Dry spot? Too much water. Too much water will ruin it all. And so I think last year's shoe shine competition, I think 1 or 2 of the contestants, used a little bit too much water, and they ended up with a dark spot on the finish of the calf. And so, right? Let's see what else.
What is the criteria for judging?
Criteria of judging. Let's talk about our judges. Thank you. Great question. So today's judges are comprised of the event organizers, so it's me, Jesper, and Justin. Our platinum sponsors each have a representative, so Zahan of Bridlen Shoes, Tom Costin of Soltec, who is here somewhere also. Where's Tom? Over there in the corner. Tom is the exclusive importer of Saphir shoe polish into the United States, and a big supporter of what it is that we not only do here, but do around the world. We've got Preston Soto of the Elegant Oxford, and we have Levi Elliott, who is one of our former U.S. champions. So we'll be judging the shoes, and the criteria really is a combination of both brilliance and beauty of shine. So the goal here is to produce a mirror shine, so the shinier it is, the more reflection that you have, right? That's what you're after. But also the nuance of the shine is important as well. So the choice and different pigments that they're choosing can affect that, right? There's no right answer there. I mean, Preston, we were talking about this earlier, really likes to use a yellow or tan wax when doing a mirror shine on brown shoes. On black shoes, you can use navy or burgundy. There's a lot of different ways to add a little bit of the tint, to that shine. And then even this, I suppose, also. So that's how we're doing. Any other questions from the audience? I can talk forever. So we've got, of course, the New York Super Trunk Show. This is a part of our Super Trunk Show. We also host a trunk show every year in May in London, which is probably the largest. There we have the World Championships of Shoemaking and the World Championships of Shoe Shining, the World Championships of Patina. And this year's top 3 shoes from the World Championship of Shoemaking are actually on display upstairs in the back room. They're kind of hidden in the corner. So if you haven't taken an opportunity to go take a look at those, they're really quite remarkable. And, you know, again, the way to think about the World Championship of Shoemaking 10 minutes is almost like a show car or like a runway design. Okay, they're not meant to be wearable, just like, you know, a show car at an auto show is not really meant to be drivable, but it's a showcase of craft and really design beauty. So go take a look at those up there. And then this year, next year, we're adding our Singapore Trunk Show. So January 31st, we'll be in Singapore, which is very exciting. So we'll kind of be spanning all 3 regions, Europe, the Americas, and now Asia. And we'll be hosting a Shoe Shine Championship there as well, along with having different vendors around the world. All right, here we go. So we're under 10 minutes. We're halfway through. Again, much more easily said than done. We almost need to increase the time. Question in the background. Yes. I don't know if I want to distract them while they're shining, but it's allowed. Okay, so we have Mario Samaniego here from Pharr, Texas on the left. So let's see. So he submitted for his entry a pair of dark brown plain cap to Oxfords that has an extreme shine in the toe of the heel, but also over the rest of the shoe. A well-used pair that has been revived to an incredible state. So Mario, was around the Uvalde school shooting, where he was working during the tragedy event in 22, and shoe shining has been part of his kind of therapy, if you will, and kind of coping with the trauma of that, and he's really taken that to help also with youth outreach in his region. So he does a lot of outreach amongst the young children kind of in his region, teaching them how to shine shoes, how to dress better, and really kind of uplift and elevate themselves. So phenomenal character, of course, thank you for all that you do. We have Chen from Huntington, New York. He submitted a pair of black cap toes, or they were polkas, that almost were so shiny they looked like they were patent leather. So congratulations on that. They were Alan Edmonds, right? Leeds playing those Butchers, right? His first proper Goodyear welted shoes. I think that's interesting that in the submissions, right, they were choosing shined pair of shoes from their own wardrobe, right? So it wasn't going out and finding a brand new pair and giving a beautiful shine, but actually, pulling something that's been well worn. And as part of the beauty of a great shoe polish is that, a well-worn pair of shoes can really be completely revitalized and, to be completely honest, made to look better than new with proper shoe polish. Ray was one of last year's finalists, and he's gladly giving it another shot this year. So I take it he's been practicing all year. He began shining shoes 2 years ago as a hobby that stemmed from a big menswear interest and a father who taught him the basics of shoe shining. So there you go, that's great. Is your father in the crowd today? He's at home. You'll be watching the live stream. Watching the live stream, there we go. So did he pay you to shine his shoes? No, it's part of the chore.
No, I had a pair of, I think it was the leads, and then he showed me how to do it with the kiwi, and then it took off from there.
Yeah, there you go. I'm still trying to convince my son to shine my shoes, but and then we have Nicholas Fuentes of Los Angeles, California, here in the middle. So he submitted another pair of Alan Edmonds. I think that were both all 3 of the submissions for this year, Alan Edmonds.
New sponsor.
Excuse me?
New sponsor.
I mean, Alan Edmonds, I don't know. We're happy to have Bridlen. So they are so you submitted a pair of Allen Edmonds. They were a punched cap, right, burnished with a high shine show. And again, the burnishing is again using a darker colored polish to really create dimensionality to the shine itself. It's whole other level. He got started in the menswear world when he got a management position at this company and needed to dress more formally on occasions. He started buying properly welted shoes, discovered my YouTube channel, his words, not mine, and started learning for himself, and now he has an Instagram account. So we're down to 5 minutes, 5 minutes. He has an Instagram account showcasing his shine on his own shoes, secondhand shoes he fixes up and so on, where he started connecting with shoe shiners around the world. So it's a small and tight-knit community, and we're happy to have these guys here supporting this and submitting themselves to such good games. Such a live audience, so they're much greater than I am. Okay, so I think we're rounding the corner on 4 final minutes. Again, I think everyone's working up a sweat. As I say, this is a sprint and not a marathon. I mean, 20 minutes to produce an air shine is really unreal. And again, it's important to consider that these are all amateurs, right? They're not professionals. I mean, at the World Championship of shoe shining, it's been largely dominated by the Japanese, and those guys are completely fanatical in their approach to shoe shining. What they're able to do in 20 minutes, it almost seems like someone's cheating. You gotta check under the table or something. It's unbelievable. Other questions from the audience?
Sure.
Yes.
So in terms of adjudicating the competition, the judges have to unanimously vote on one candidate, or
Well, I mean, we'll sit and we'll discuss amongst ourselves. And to be honest, I mean, in my experience, the winning shoe kind of presents itself.
okay.
Right? So, I mean, if we disagree, we'll certainly debate. And if that doesn't work, then we'll fight. All right, how much time we got left? 3:30. Other questions from the audience? Yes?
What's your favorite shoe in your wardrobe?
My favorite shoe in my wardrobe. Does anyone want to answer that for me? I mean, I love the black cap to Oxford, right? I think it's a beautifully elegant shoe. I don't have, I'm not a man of favorites, really. So I don't have a favorite shoemaker, right? I kind of really had an opportunity to try them all out. And I think one of the great things about the Super Truck Show is that we really have a lot of great people that are manufacturing shoes at a very accessible price point. I mean, for less than a pair of Allen Edmonds. And you're getting a shoe, in many cases, that would otherwise cost several times more. Bridlen, of course, is a great example of this. I mean, their shoes start at just a few $100s, and fantastically well made. And then you can go to something like their Founders collection, which has even more of those nuanced elements of craft. That if you're someone that really loves shoes, sets them apart from others. Good question, though. Yes.
When you're setting up the outfit, like today, where do you start? Do you start with the shoes?
Good question.
You start with your suit.
Yeah. Let's see. How much time we have?
2 minutes and 12 seconds.
2 minutes and 12 seconds. I'm not sure how this is. I normally start with the jacket I'm wearing. I'm going to go from there. Right, so I'll build the wardrobe around that. The shoes are kind of one of the last things I'll think about, right? Shoes, trousers, and then shirt, tie. But I kind of think about whatever the largest and most prominent component of that outfit is. If I'm not wearing a jacket, or maybe I'm wearing an odd jacket, and I have a pair of shoes calling my name in the morning, maybe I'll put what I'm wearing on that. Good question. I try not to fuss about it, right? And I think one of the beauties of classic menswear is that you honestly don't have to think, right? If everything in your closet is well made and is classically oriented, you can almost close your eyes and go pick anything and have it work together. So I'm certainly not adventurous, and really I'd say that my affinity towards classic menswear is really more about playing it safe and not having to think and worry about it. I mean, there's some people that really enjoy, spritzing it up, if you will. I'm not really one of those people. But I do enjoy dressing well. Because you feel better when you dress well, right? Everyone feels good. How are we on time? Okay, this is the last minute, 60 seconds left. One of these years we're going to get a big clock. Let's cheer these guys along, gentlemen submitting themselves to such pressure because the beer shine is something that inherently never likes to be rushed. And so right now is kind of the final corner, and they may have done a great job laying the foundation, but sometimes the beer shine just doesn't pop quite like you want it to. And unfortunately, with 21 seconds left, you're just not effective any more time. As I say, it's the mirage. It's beer shine. It's really difficult to do. Okay, let's see. So we've got 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Shammy. Gentlemen, thank you so much. We're not done yet, so the judges have to convene and then give us a few minutes to discuss amongst ourselves. You guys can go have a drink, the bar's open. Don't disappear, don't disappear on us. And then we'll announce the winner. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good job.
I don't know which ones have been shined.
Get your attention, please. Tom. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, everyone's rushed to the bar. I don't blame them. So where are our three contestants? Let's bring our contestants back down. back up here in front of your shoes.
Sorry.
Now, as I said, everyone here has already submitted a fantastically signed pair of shoes to be qualified. And so each of these three contestants today, no question, are capable of producing a fantastic pair of shines. But doing it in 20 minutes on a new pair of shoes makes it a little bit more difficult. So they're all winners. They're all finalists here. Congratulations once again for qualifying. Now, Saphir Medallior has very generously sponsored our prizes. So first place gets $500 cash, second place $200, and third place $100. They each get to keep the shoes from Bridlen, and if they're the wrong size, I'm sure Bridlen will work that out. And then, of course, everyone gets a medal. Okay. So let's hear it. So third place from Los Angeles, California, Nicholas Fuentes. All right. So, first place, the 2025 U.S. Shoe Shine Champion, Chen Huntington. And everyone was well on their way to that really beautiful, perfect pair of shine. But to be honest, 20 minutes is quite unfair because it's a lot of work. No one quite nailed the shine on the toe cap, but you'll see that amongst the other parts of the shoe, you know, there were certain elements of the beautiful shine really starting to lift out, right? And so again, you know, nobody does wear shine in 20 minutes, right? So it's really a sprint. It's an exercise to see how close and how far you can get. But come take a look at the shoes. I mean, it's interesting to see how it's coming together. And congratulations to all of you. Thank you for coming.